Hey, it's Troy with trafficistruth.com. I just want to show you how to put in a sumo.com opt-in pop-up form into your website. And specifically, I have one that popped up for pretty much the entire site. And now I wanted to get a little more specific. So in this particular use case, I've got a series of articles around Lululemon clothing. And I want to try and get people added to an email list for anybody who wants the info on new drops for Lululemon. So a little unusual for this kind of sporting health site, but that's what I'm doing. And it took me a little bit to figure it out. So I thought it might help someone else. All right. So I won't bore you with how to log into sumo.com. If you have an account, you probably know that. But if you're to go to your form, it gives you some options here, what you want to do. My goal in this case is going to be collect emails, form type, going to be a pop-up, design. These are pretty easy to design. They've got some templates that you can mess around with. We won't go into all that detail here. Visibility. All right, this is where it gets a little tricky. So a lot of times, if you just have one for your entire site, maybe you just click smart mode and it decide what's the best way to collect from that particular user. In this case, I've got one that is in smart mode, but then I want the second one that will only show up on these Lululemon pages. So I chose manual mode, and then they have all kinds of options. So you can choose whether it's going to be timed. There's several options there. Show up after a series of seconds. And that's how I think I have, I have doing this in smart mode for my first pop-up. This one, I think I want to just, kind of that last chance when a user's trying to leave. That seems to be pretty effective, at least for me, when I'm browsing other people's sites. I don't like it when it pops up initially, but I'm okay with it as I'm trying to leave. So a user leaves. I'm going to do it once a day. You can just do by month, by year. And my first mistake is you can create a rule, and I'll add new rule here. So I chose by pages. If you go by pages, it gives you, whether it's a home page or article pages. That's not really helpful for me. Oh, this is interesting. Depending on where they're coming from, I'm not worried about that. So I wanted to do particular URLs. And what I hoped is that I could put anything with a Lululemon in it. I couldn't figure that out. But you could do a beginning with. Not all of mine start with a beginning with. So I did containing, and I just put in the word Lululemon, and I thought that would catch it. It did not. So what I'm doing now is I'm just putting in, I only have 3 or 4 posts that have this, that are around this Lululemon product. So I'm putting in the, specific URL. So I'm going to go ahead and say exactly matching. And what I found work is you don't put in your whole URL. It's just the post name. So I'll go give you an example. So I'm just going to grab this Lululemon tennis item. And I found that you need to put the slashes in. And I'm going to go add my other 2 pages. Add one more. Actually, notice I have 5 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I actually have one more I need to go grab. So obviously, if you, will be a community here, and if you figure out a better way to do it, or if figure out a good way to use that contains items, just make a comment in the YouTube video, and that'll help others make this a little bit quicker process. Let's see here. Last one, path, exactly matching. There you go. Gonna update it. All right. So I'm feeling pretty confident that it's going to work. Actually, I know it will because I tested it once before. So the way I'd like to test it is just opening a new incognito window, a website. Interesting. Google's putting ads in my homepage. Let's go figure that out. All right. So I'm going to use the search function. Then you look, I'll go to this Lululemon basketball shorts item. And I put an inline item here, and that's showing up nicely. But now when I try and leave the page, oh, it didn't work. Let's try one more time. There's the inline ad or the collection box. There we go. So I'm not exactly sure why it didn't show up, but I think when I went towards the X, maybe that triggered it. And there you go. And someone can enter their email address and it will collect it. So anyways, there's not always a ton of information out there on YouTube about Sumo.com and, there are forums and how to use them. There are a couple from Sumo.com themselves, but I thought it might be helpful for others that were looking to add a Sumo.com opt-in pop-up email collection item to their website. I thought this may help you out. So hopefully it did. And I'm sharing as many tips as I can on just anything I'm having problems with on my own websites. So if you're interested, certainly click the subscribe button